Hello everyone, welcome back to the tutorials again. So in previous session we have studied about the permeability in stratified soil. So we have studied the flow which is parallel to stratification, flow which is perpendicular to stratification. Even we have found out the average permeability when the flow is parallel as well as perpendicular to stratification. Now in today's session we are going to study about determination of permeability, that is K value test. So permeability or K value can be determined by following methods. So these are direct methods by which we can determine the permeability or K value. So in direct methods there are laboratory tests and there are field tests. So in laboratory tests there are two types, that is constant head method and falling head method. So in field tests, pumping out test and pumping in tests are two different methods. So you can see over here, apart from the laboratory and field tests, there are few indirect tests to determine the permeability are computation from grain size, specific surface, horizontal capillary test, consolidation data test. Okay, so by using these methods we can indirectly calculate the coefficient of permeability, that is K, or else K value we can call. So laboratory, first of all we are going to study about laboratory methods for determination of coefficient of permeability or K value. So it is given in IS 2720 part 17. So first laboratory method to determine the coefficient of permeability is uh, determination of K value by constant head method. So in this test is based on measuring the volume of water flowing through a soil of known area and length L in time t under constant head of water. So you can see here constant head of water. Constant is a term which they have used. So constant head or constant height of water we are going to maintain in this particular test. That's why it is called as constant head method. So in this method we are going to measure the amount of volume of water which is flowing through known area of water, known area and known length of soil sample, known length of area and known length of soil sample at time t, in time t. So under constant head we are going to find out. So the test arrangement will be like this. You can see this is the chamber or container, so in which we are going to fill up the soil. So above the soil and below the soil we are going to apply the filter paper. On the top there will be wire mesh or gravel filter. Similarly on the bottom there will be wire mesh or gravel filter. So area of cross section is equal to A. So on the top you can see there is a tank, and in which constant level of water we are going to maintain. So knob B and knob C, knob A, there are three knobs A, B and C. So there are two manometers which we have attached to measure the head. So one manometer is attached over here, another manometer is attached over here. As the water is traveling from this initial length to this final length, this initial length to this final length, there will be loss of head over the length L. So the loss of head is denoted by small h over here. Okay, so this is a test arrangement. So we'll see the procedure one by one. The arrangement of test is shown in the figure. The soil sample is enclosed in perspex cylinder tube. A number of manometers are provided at the sides of cylinder. Those can be used in pairs. So there are two number of manometers are provided. So there are pair of manometers provided. Water is allowed to flow through the soil at a constant head h. So you can see at constant head h water is allowed to flow through the soil. So we are going to open the knob C first to remove any air voids, and simultaneously we are going to open knob A and knob B, so which allows the water to flow through this soil specimen. So here we are going to fill up the soil. You can see dotted portion. Here we are going to fill up the soil. Next you can see water is allowed to flow through the soil at a constant head h as indicated by level differences in manometer tube. The quantity of water or volume of water, that is the total volume of water collected in time t is measured from which discharge is calculated. So at time t, whatever the amount, time t means it might be 30 seconds or 60 seconds, any time interval you can take. So in that time interval, whatever the volume of water which is getting collected in here, whatever the volume of water which is getting collected at the bottom, we are going to consider as a volume V at time t. So which is from which we are going to calculate the discharge. So discharge is nothing but V divided by T. So V is volume divided by time. Volume is in meter cube, time is in seconds, meter cube per second. So you can see the unit of discharge. So to find out the K value, you can see over here. So from Darcy's law, Q is equal to A into V. So V is equal to K into I is from Darcy's law. So I can say that Q is equal to A into, this is cross sectional area, A I have kept as it is. So into K into I. So K is equal to Q divided by IA. So same formula I am going to use, and I have written all the data over here. Uh, in place of Q, I have written V divided by T. In place of I have written head lost over the length L. Head lost over the length L. So uh, after writing, we are going to get the formula like this. So this formula we are going to use to find out the uh, K value. Okay, so during the test, before water is allowed to pass through, both A and B knobs are closed and vacuum is blown from valve C to remove any air void. So that's what I have told. Initially, we are, before allowing the water to pass through the soil, A and B knobs are closed and vacuum is blown through the knob C. Our knob C is opened and vacuum is blown. So which is going to remove the air voids which are present in the soil. Okay. So after that, water is allowed to pass through it. So these are in the notes. Okay. So this test can't be used very little permeable or highly impermeable soil, because collection of water is very low and rate of evaporation is high. So this particular test, that is constant head method, is not suitable for little permeable or highly impermeable soils. So if the soil is highly impermeable, this test is not suitable. Now similarly, you can see falling head method, entire test setup is same, just we are the uh, height of water is going to fall through the time. So this is falling head method, falling head test to determine the permeability, or it is also called as variable head. So you can see, as the time progresses, the height of water falls. So here we are not going to mention the constant height of water. There in previous test we have mentioned the maintained the constant height of water. That is why that test was called as constant head method. And here we are not maintaining the constant height of water. That's why it is called as falling head method. Constant head of water I can, or else I can call it as a constant head. Okay, everything is same, but here height of water 1 and height of water h1 and h2 comes into the picture. So cross sectional area of this is called as standpipe. So at the top there was a tank at the top. You can see over here there was a tank at the top, but here there is no tank, only standpipe is there. So cross sectional area of that standpipe is small a, cross sectional area of soil is capital A, length of soil is capital L, initial height of water at in standpipe is h1, final height of water in standpipe is known as h2. So same we are going to do by using same formulas. We are going to derive this equation and we are going to arrive to this particular equation. So we can say that K is equal to A into L. That's here, this small L is nothing but area of cross sectional area of standpipe. L is a length of sample, capital A is cross sectional area of soil sample, T is a time taken, log e to the base h1 divided by h2. If we are going to use log e to the base, there is no need to use 2.3. If we are using log 10, we have to use 2.3. Okay, so you can just go through these formulas. If you have any doubts, you can uh, raise your queries. So you can see the formula derivation and other things are very simple. So So by using the basic formula only we are going to start deriving. But remember, in exam they may ask any method to explain, so or else any method to derive the formula. So you have to derive this formula in examination. You have to derive this formula in examination. Okay. So this is a formula which you need to remember in case of falling head method to determine the K value. Either we can use log E or else we can use log 10 by multiplying it with 2.3. Okay. Now there are few examples which we need to solve on laboratory tests. Laboratory test examples we need to solve. So you can see in falling head method. So initially only they have given as falling head method. So these formulas are applicable. So in falling head method of permeability test, the initial head at time 0 is 40 centimeter. The head drops by 5 centimeter in 10 minutes. So what they are saying over here is they have allowed the water to pass through the soil sample. Initial head H1 was 40 centimeter at t is equal to 0. After 10 minutes, head was dropped by 5 centimeter. So you can see difference between H1 and H2 they have given, that is 5 centimeter. So H2 is, if H1 is 40, H2 will be 35 because drop in the head is 5 centimeter which they have given. That's why I have, to make you understand better, I have shown the figure. So the head dropped by 5 centimeter in 10 minutes. So T1 is 0, T2 is 10 minutes. Initial head, that is H1, small h1 is 40 and small h2 is 40 minus 5 because head was dropped by 5 centimeters. If they had given that final head like that term they have given, then we could have taken that value only. So head was dropped by 5 centimeter they have given. That's why we are subtracting 40 minus 5 in 10. 40 minus 5 and we are taking it as a H2. So calculate the time required to run the test for final head to be at 20 centimeter. If sample is of 6 centimeter height and 50 centimeter square in cross sectional area. Height of sample, you can see over here, height of sample is capital L. So cross sectional area is capital A. So same way we are going to use height of sample capital L is equal to 6 centimeter. Area of cross section of sample is equal to capital A 50 centimeter square. Area of standpipe small a is 0.5 centimeter square. So calculate the coefficient of permeability. Take area of standpipe is equal to 0.5 centimeter square. So to find what we need to find out, we need to find out coefficient of permeability first. Then we can find out time required to drop the head by 20 centimeter. So why we need to find out coefficient of permeability? Actually they have directly asked about time required for head to drop by 20 centimeter. So head to drop of 20 centimeter they have asked. So we are going to first find out the coefficient of permeability. After that we are going to use this coefficient of permeability to find out the time taken for head drop of 20 centimeter. So initially what we are going to do, initially H1 and H2 we are going to use as 40 and 35. So by using this 40 and 35 we are going to find out K value. So you can see over here small a into L divided by capital A into T into log e to the base H1 divided by H2. So here we are having small a as 0.5, length is equal to 6 centimeter, capital A is equal to 50 centimeter square. You can see capital A 50 centimeter square, and the time taken, you can see over here, time taken is 10 minutes. So t is nothing but t2 minus t1. So final time minus initial time. So final time was 10 centimeter. So 10 into 60, I have converted it in seconds. So 600 seconds I have taken. So after that I have found out the value of K. But what they have asked that time required for head drop of 20 centimeter. So if the head wants to drop up to 20 centimeter, for example, you can see over here, final head to be at 20 centimeter. So final head to be at 20 centimeter. What is the initial head? Initial head is 40 centimeter. How much it has to drop? It has to drop up to 20 centimeter. Means you can see over here, uh, so time required for head drop of 20 centimeters. So K value we are having for particular type of soil, K value will not change. So K value we are going to keep as it is. So 40, you can see over here, time required for head drop of 20 centimeter, that is 40 into 20 is equal to 20 centimeter. So 20 centimeter is a remaining. Okay. So it has been asked. So if they could have asked that what is the time required for head drop of head to final head to be at 15 centimeter, then we could have taken H2 as a 15 over here. Okay, but H2 they have given as a 20, so we are taking it as a 20. So same formula we are going to use, but this time the unknown is small t. This time the unknown is small t. So we are going to find out this unknown by using the k value which we have calculated in case number 1. So in case number 1 we have found out the k value. Same k value we are going to use. Every other data is same, only we need to find out t. So we have got the t as 3114.5 seconds, that is 51.9 meter. So sorry, 51.9 minutes. So what it says, for head, for final head at 20 centimeter, for final head to be at 20 centimeter, the time required is 51.9 minutes. Okay, so this is what they have asked over here. So you can see over here, time required to run the test for final head to be at 20 centimeter. So we are going to, we have found it. So next example, you can see, calculate the coefficient of permeability of soil sample. 6 centimeter is a height, 50 centimeter square is a cross sectional area. If quantity of water equal to 430 ml passed down in 10 minutes under an effective constant head, you can see here, effective constant head of 40 centimeter on oven drying specimen, test specimen has mass of 498 grams, taking specific gravity of soil sample as 2.65, calculate the seepage velocity of water during the test. So they have asked us to calculate the seepage velocity also. Just forget about that seepage velocity first. First let us calculate the coefficient of permeability, then we can calculate the seepage velocity. But remember, under an effective constant head they have given. So this test is constant head method. So you can see here, what is the formula for constant head method? So formula for constant head method is like this. So simple formula which we are going to use. So this is the formula which we are going to use in case of constant head method. So we'll move further. Given data, quantity of water, that is 430 ml, time taken, that is 10 minutes, that is 600 seconds. Discharge is equal to 430 divided by 600, that is 0.7166 ml per second is a discharge. Okay, unit is very important, ml per second. Next, cross sectional area of soil is given as 50 centimeter square. So here they have given, again length of sample they have given as 6 centimeter. That h, you can see over here, what they have given as a h under the constant head. So this is a h which they have given as 40 centimeters. So further we need to convert the unit of discharge. So we are going to convert it from ml to centimeter cube. So first ml to liter I have converted by multiplying it with 10 to the power minus 3. So after that, if I want to convert it to liter to centimeter cube, I have to multiply it with 10 to the power plus 3. So 10 to the power minus 3 and plus 3 are going to get cancelled. So ml per second is directly centimeter per second. So discharge I have calculated. Now, if I want to find out coefficient of permeability, I have to use the constant head method, that is Q into L divided by E into H. So instead of this Q, I can use this also. So there is a trick they have used. Instead of Q, you can see over here, you can see Q divided by I into A. If I only substitute the value of I am going to get it as H by L. So H by L, if I substitute, L is going to go at the top and H is going to remain at the bottom. So you can see volume divided by time, this is a volume, this is a time. So volume divided by time is nothing but Q. So same trick they have used over here. So Q they have kept given directly, so they are keeping it directly. So Q into capital L divided by capital A into H. So I'm going to substitute all the values and I'm going to get the answer as 2.14 into 10 to the power minus 3 centimeter per second. Next, calculation of seepage velocity. So to calculate the seepage velocity, what we need? Seepage velocity is equal to discharge velocity divided by porosity. So we know this formula, we have studied it in previous sessions. Now to find out the regular velocity or discharge velocity, we have the data Q. We have the equation Q is equal to V into A. I am going to modify it, V is equal to Q divided by A, and I am going to get the answer like this. So for porosity we need to calculate, we need porosity. We have calculated V, we need porosity. So for porosity they have given dry weight after oven drying. So weight, dry weight divided by volume is going to give us the dry unit weight, or else I can say that weight of soil solids divided by total value is going to give us unit weight of dry unit weight. So dry unit weight I have calculated. After calculating dry unit weight, I have calculated the E, because G they have given, mu W I know, I can calculate E. Once I know E, I can easily calculate N. So N and E are having a relation. So N is equal to E divided by 1 plus E. So after that, if I calculate N, here I know N and here I know what is V. So by knowing N and V, I can calculate discharge velocity. One important point which you have to mark here is value for mu W is 1 gram per centimeter cube, because the unit is gram per cc. If it is kilonewton per meter cube, it should be 9.81. It's not kilonewton per meter cube, it is gram per centimeter cube or gram per cc. That's why value for mu W is 1. So specifically that's why I have marked it with some different colors, so you can go through it. So all the unit conversions, how to take the value of mu W, I have written over here. So I have calculated the seepage velocity and I have written it as V divided by N, and I have got the final answer as 3.85 into 10 to the power minus 2 centimeter per second. So you can go through it. In next session we are going to move to the next problems, and in this session we have completed about the laboratory tests to determine the permeability. In next session we are going to continue with field tests to determine the permeability. So we have completed this. So in next session we are going to complete this. So thank you.